Well, welcome in, everybody. Welcome in. I'm just trying to share this to everybody. I don't often do a live on YouTube, but I figured I would do one on this Monday morning. Maybe we'll start a new theme here. Hey, Mr. Crothers, welcome in. Marco, good morning. Welcome in, everybody. Sean, I'm glad to see the mod thing is working so you can get in here and talk. I have it set to only members of Tom's Army can talk, which is just something I like to do so that I don't have to deal with all the bullshit. If you're tuning in, make sure to hit that like button, share this on social media so we can get as many people in. We're going to get started here in less than 2 minutes. I'll talk to you guys while I am setting my stuff up, but I am actually sharing this on my social medias, and I am actually in the process. I'm also going to roll a joint so that I can smoke with each and every one of you, and we're going to discuss this chart. I do appreciate anybody who's taken the initiative to come tune in. We need to talk about not just the XRP chart and what's going on this morning, as we could be starting a topping reversal here, but we also need to talk about some blockchain information. We can get into a big discussion here, and I'll pretty much go based on what you guys are saying to me. Let's see if this works. Yes, I am surprised as well. I'm not surprised that it lets you, Sean. I actually figured out how to make you a mod, and then it'll let you comment. That's how I can get around the workaround. Nick, welcome in. I appreciate everybody tuning in. I really do. I'm Wow, that was a lot of stuff on TikTok. 930 comments, 99 plus notifications. Jesus Christ. That TikTok there's so many people on it, it just flies. It's crazy. Just went over 11,000 followers on TikTok in like a month and a half, 2 months. It's insanity. So, I'm XRP Future Millionaire. It's 9:37 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, October 10th, 2022. And it's more than just XRP we need to discuss. We're actually going to be getting into the DXY. We're going to talk about the Dow as it opened at 9:30. We're going to get a little bit into the 10-year. We're going to talk a little bit about gold and silver in this live. We're going to talk a little bit about everything because it's not just crypto. You have to make sure you understand the whole financial system. If you don't understand the financial setup, you're going to dig yourself a grave. A lot of people I see that are buying XRP but have no precious metals, and their main argument is that XRP is going to be backed by the new gold or digital gold. But obviously, physical metals, the physical gold will have to be attached to it. But yet I see everybody buying only XRP but no gold. It makes no fucking sense. If XRP is going to be derived it's the new standard of gold for digital, and it's backed by gold, well, if you're buying XRP, you damn well better buy the asset it's being backed by. And that's why I always put a precedent on gold. Then we talk about XLM, which is Stellar Lumens, and that's being backed by silver. So why wouldn't you have precious metals in gold and silver form that you're starting to stockpile? Mainly silver, as you can see right now with the US dollar currency index where it's at right now. It's up over 113.18. And that gives gold silver ratio at about 84.877. If you're not familiar with the gold silver ratio, that means for every 1 ounce of gold you have, it would take 84.87 ounces of silver to equal that differential. While right now, they're basically giving it away because of the US dollar currency index differential. So our US dollar is inflated, and right now you can get silver this morning at 19.69 an ounce. Well, that's an 84.87 to 1 differential. In normal times, it's about 40 to 1, which means you could trade 40 ounces of silver for an ounce of gold. So why not right now at $19.68 buy some silver so that when it turns into the appropriate exchange rate back to the 40 to 1, you're basically getting a 2 to 1 plus at 84.8 to 1 from the standard 40 to 1. That gives you such a great exchange rate. Another breaking little thing is the total crypto market cap is under 900 billion again, down 0.72% to just over 899 billion. We've even had the Bitcoin is reversing down a little bit, down 0.56%, but only down 108 points. It's just that it's come to the bottom side of a lot of this, and it did start a rising channel, and it looks like it put in an M-topping reversal, and it just couldn't get out of this area. And there's nothing more we can say about it. It just couldn't get above. And now we're going to have to deal with the support level that it hasn't technically cracked yet, but it's right around 19K. And once that cracks, it's going to initiate a drop to 17,662. So everybody really needs to pay attention to that. I'm just going to look at my phone because I can't tell if anybody's talking, and I don't want the stream to shut off because I keep looking at the chat. Because as you know, YouTube is really, really fucking weird. Okay, so we don't really have any comments right now, so that's good. So I'm not missing anything. Stupid ads. It is quiet in here, but that's okay. That is okay. We've got 31 people in here. It's morning. Most people are at work. And I haven't been on here on YouTube for live in a while, so I'm just glad that there's 31 people here joining, tuning in, trying to figure this out. So real quick, before I go to the Dow, we'll just look at XRP real quick. It's at 5186, down 2.63% on the day. We've got several levels. We failed this rejection point up here. This was the top of the pattern formation of the ascending triangle. All this other nonsense I have here is just that. It is nonsense, but it gives us the appropriate levels as a breakdown. So now that we're below the 20-day and the 2-hour time frame, and this is one that I like to look at very, very closely, is the 2-hour. Once you start to build some repetition here, or a little bit of a projectile here in the 2-hour time frame, that's when you know we have some serious shit going on. Now that we're below the 20-day, this would have to be in a quick fashion in the next 2 to 3 2-hour candles to get back up over this. Now we do have a hold point here at 5080 on the first hold, 4932, but that's not the whole story. We still have down below at 47 cents, but if you look at the USDT, we've got an immediate level here at 50084 that is very important. So on the USDT, we're going resistance. Well, the 5084 ends up in between here. It's down just a little bit, but if you look at all of the charts together, it really gives us an area to look at. Because the USDT, the perpetual futures, and the rest are all going to look slightly different, but they do help build a pattern formation. So this 50 cent level, you can see, is very important. This is 497 level. If we look at the USD, we're right here at about 50.73. So our next two levels is 5073, and then the 49. The 49. What is that? 4995. So that's what we're looking at very closely here. And if you're tuning in, I'd appreciate if you hit that like button, as it will help to attract more people, because the analytics, that's just the way YouTube does it. So I do appreciate everybody tuning in. But now let's look at the Dow real quick. We're up 120.19 with a 29,419. Again, the Dow, though, just like crypto, it looks to be creating this downward, watch this. This is something that we can actually put back in. We can actually start all the way up here, which is crazy. Not 100% accurate. Hold on. So you've got that downtrending support line, but then if you look at this, it's almost like we tried to break out of a falling channel, but we just couldn't get that proper support. And, you know, we're going to have to project a little bit here. Like, this is what's supposed to happen. I'm using these first two hits. We could even come out here, but I'd much rather prefer to do this. Because now you can see where the pattern, it technically could have broke out, but it failed. And now we're stuck in this little channel. And right now the bottom of the channel is 27,705. The top is 31,490. So that's a huge trading range right now in the Dow Jones. And if we break this back just a little bit farther, you can clearly see how we broke this major up channel. And it's very hard to chart, actually. This is very hard to chart because we got to break through this immediate short-term part of the pattern. But once this breaks, it's going to be a very easy pattern to fill out, and it's going to be devastating. I think a lot of people are really going to lose a lot of money in the Dow. I do. Because a lot of people, with the overinflation of the U.S. dollar, they think that the stock market is just whatever, it's going to run unopposed, which couldn't be farther from the truth. I firmly believe we're going to come down here. We'll probably come down here to 10K at some point, especially if we have this over-the-top, style event here with the stock market. It's not going to be pretty. And I always try to tell everybody, crypto runs pretty much unopposed to the stock market. So if the stock market's tanking, I mean, look at this. All the way back from the 50s, you had a pretty level stock market until, about 98, 99, 2000, around the stock market bubble. But what happens when all this money dries up? What happens when the U.S. is not the U.S., like if we're not the world reserve currency anymore? What really happens? Does anybody actually pay attention to this? Because right now to buy oil, there's several countries that have come to an agreement right now, and they're trying to start the new gold standard. They really are. And the way of valuing gold and silver, they're trying to take JP Morgan and all the fudsters and manipulators out of the equation. And that's going to have, that's going to have implications down the road. I'm telling you, this all points to like under 8K for the stock market eventually. There's no way we can hold this parabolic spike. Unless we continue the printing presses, there is zero chance that these are going to stay open. Zero. And everybody who's playing that route is going to be in some big trouble. Hey, no problem, Sean. I do what I can. I do what I can, you know? And everybody who's trying to comment, if you can't comment, that's because I make the commenting on the lives for Tom's Only members, Tom's Army. So I don't have to deal with all the jabronis. I'm going to go blow my nose real quick, and then we're going to get over the gold silver charts this morning. A lot more than crypto. And if I could somehow, manage to put it together a little bit of a, pattern here where maybe I come on Monday mornings when the Dow opens and we get to talk about the gold, silver markets and a little bit of crypto. If you want to see my updates, I already put out a couple updates this morning, so go watch them. Talks about a lot of stuff. So the gold is at 1675 down 1866 an ounce or 1.10%. It looks like, once again, we're going to have to come down to this uptrend. If we break this 1670, that's a very key level, the 1677. If we can hold 1677, and I'm gonna take this away because I don't want everybody to get confused by the short-term pattern I put out here, but you'd have to watch my charts really repetitively to understand what that was. It's crazy that you can go back to the gold standard and bring that forward to meet up with where the drop could hit. Absolutely. Absolutely, Nick. And that's something that a lot of people don't pay attention to, but you can actually look at it. It all works all the markets work together. Even the gold standard. Yep, and if we get back on the gold standard, which we are going to, it's going to happen. See, what ends up happening to any great nation when they start to take advantage of the rest of the world is they lose their reserve currency status. And the USA was doing it fine for many, many decades. But now within the Biden administration and a little bit before, we started telling people that, oh, well, if you do this, we're not going to let you buy this, or we're not going to give you any more of this when you have to pay it in US notes. You just can't do it anymore. And then we cut them off. Well, that's not going to fly with the rest of the world. It's just not going to happen. It can't happen. Mr. Campbell, welcome in, Sean. So we have this uptrending resistance right here on the CFDs of gold. This is gold. This is your spot price of gold. We could not break this 2083, and we hit it twice. And yes, we're in a bigger time frame in the monthly. But I just want everybody to see how it formed out. And now we're on this very critical 1677 support resistance. If we break that, we have 1496, 1208, and possibly 1050. The actual uptrend on gold is about $464. Do I think it's going to hit that? I understand that might be a stretch, but I wouldn't expect 1406 to just not happen. I need to see something break out here. I need to see gold hold 1677. And not reverse farther, which I think is impossible. I do. I don't think it's possible for gold not to reverse. And I understand Peter Schiff and all these experts that are much smarter than me, and this is much above my pay grade. The DXY is not done, and I've been calling this capitulation to 120, believe it or not, since the DXY was all the way down prior to this run-up. And I was here last year when gold was at, the US dollar was at 93. I was here last year when gold was, the US dollar currency index was hovering. We talked about this all last year when it was at about $90, and we talked about this parabolic spike up to 120, and I got so much shit from people, which is great. You know why that's great? Because when people give me slack, I understand the ones who understand and don't. When somebody's going to criticize me in the comments because they don't agree, because they don't understand about certain things, they're fucking idiots, and I understand that. And it's not that you're intentionally an idiot. It's just that some people are too naive to realize that the information out there is what they need to listen to, and they don't know dick. I used to be like that. I used to not listen to anybody when I was younger. I used to think I knew all my shit, which I didn't know a dick. If I would have just admitted that back then, I would have been on Bitcoin back in 2012. I had information on it. My uncle got into it when I was in my early 20s. I was broke. Early to mid 20s, yes, I was broke in '08 and '09. But putting $100 a week or $100 a month into that back then, it would have made all the difference. So now when you see the ISO and I hear the same bullshit from people that were as dumb as I was when it came to Bitcoin back in the day, and now these same people that wouldn't touch Bitcoin at 500 are buying it at 30K, 20K, 60K, it makes no fucking sense. But they won't buy the ISO coins now, which is the new Bitcoin. You don't want that proof of work bullshit. But now we have the new innovative ISO coins, the ones that are going to run the world. And what do people do? They don't give a shit about them. They want to buy Bitcoin. They want to buy Ethereum. Why? Why would you buy something like that? That'd be like using dial-up internet now when we have fucking wireless. It makes no sense. It makes zero sense. If you want to put it in perspective, that is no different than saying I'll use dial-up over my wireless. I'll use a dial-up modem. For anybody who doesn't know, back in the day when internet first came out, you'd have a dial-up through AOL, American Online. You'd have to pay a monthly subscription for American Online, but the internet was free. Well, if somebody made a phone call, you'd get kicked off the internet. Because there was only, unless you had a second line, and that was for rich people when I was a kid. So, I mean, it's simply, do you want to get stuck in the old with Bitcoin and Ethereum and all this other nonsense? Or do you want to get stuck in the real world with XRP, XLM, Algo, IOTA, Matic? Even Matic's part of this whole thing. I know it doesn't seem like it because of who runs it, but you've got all their alternatives. IOTA's a huge one. ADA, Cardano. Algorand's literally the new Bitcoin, in my opinion. Everybody talks about XRP. It's not true. They're on different platforms. Oh, no problem, Marco. I appreciate that. Yeah, I know. This is a weird time for me to be on at 9:52 a.m. Oh, Jan, I really appreciate that. Yeah, we got over 14,000, which it's still surprising to me that we have so many people following because it's so hard for me to get an audience because I get shadow banned. And I do put out, real information so people don't like it because I tell the truth. But, if anybody's here that hasn't seen as well, on TikTok, my TikTok platform, and yes, I have an account warning, but it's absolutely exploding. We're up over 11,000 followers. My video today already has 4,562 views. And, 1,300 views for my video today. The one from yesterday is 16,300. Had multiple over 150,000 views or 130,000. It's been a spectacular way for me to get some information out. So, but I do appreciate everybody tuning in because I really believe that sometimes me talking about crypto is great. BoobTube is 100% notorious. Trading J-Ride, thanks for tuning in. I appreciate that. Welcome in, everybody. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. If you're not part of Tom's Army, that's the best way to donate, is to join Tom's Army here live on stream so I can see it. There's also other ways if you would like, but it's not required. Hey, Darren, welcome in, my brother. Yeah, I wanted to come live. I know it's early. But I miss going live on YouTube, and I can work around their nonsense because I can just have my phone out here to see the comments. But today, at least, the comments are working fine, and I appreciate 41 people being in here with 31 likes. I really do. So let's get back to, we were talking about gold. I just want some of you guys to understand, and gals, with gold, this 1677 is the most important line we're dealing with. You're going to see the rest of my chart come up in just a second because I have a lot written down. Oh, actually, it's below where I had it. Ha. So, the 1677, I would mark this. If we can hold this, this would help us break up. I don't know if we can get out of the area at 1731. That remains to be seen. But it definitely would mean a lot, for us to hold this area. If we don't, I prefer it to break down more because I am not even close to buying all my silver. I've been buying it for years. But I really would like this ratio to continue to go up. I would love gold to start crashing a little faster than silver and have silver around 19 bucks an ounce while gold's sitting at about 1,500. Oh, man, I'd be, it's never going to happen. Or maybe 1,600 to a $19 ounce of silver. But silver is out falling right now, so gold is outproducing or outperforming silver at this time by about 1% on the drop. But now a couple of key mining stocks to just keep in stock, and I'm not talking about the junior mining stocks because those are too risky. Like GPL's in bankruptcy right now, and yes, a lot of people think it could be a fantastic buy if you can buy it. I would stay away from that, and I'd also stay away from AAU, even though it's sub 30 cents right now, because the junior mining companies are taking a hit. I would focus on dividend paying or equal style companies. So Kinross Gold, $3.77. You've got Barrick Gold. They all pay a dividend. Barrick Gold's at $15.55. These are tremendous deals right now. And you can see these W reversals that possibly could be starting. We could be starting big reversals here. But with the way that silver is, I still think this could be a bear flag. And I think some people expect gold. Even Peter Schiff keeps talking about it a lot, but I don't know how you can talk about that in confidence that we could hit a possible bottom on the mining stocks if the U.S. dollar currency index hasn't topped out. It's impossible. The mining stocks, along with gold, silver, platinum, and precious metals, copper by the pound. We can see copper is at $3.45 per pound, up 2.07%. Everything else is down. Platinum's down 0.93% to 903.50. And you guys can tell I have a passion for gold and silver. And I love talking about it because nobody listens. But, well, not nobody. There's a select group of people in my audience that has started listening, especially about gold and silver. Hey, Bailey Independent, good morning. Cade, I appreciate you. And yes, support your local farmers indeed. I do every single week. I go to the farmers markets around my area to try to buy some overpriced fruit, which it's not overpriced because it's not GMO filled and it's by a local farmer, but it's still much more expensive than the grocery store. Make no mistake about that. We have the U.S. dollar, or USDT, is related to the U.S. dollar with Tether. It's on par right now. It's still paired at 1.00004, so slightly above the USDC ratio. And then I wanted to talk about, let's see, I'm going to pull up the current dividends right now on B2 Gold. So B2 Gold dividend. Let's see what their current dividend. So Barrick Gold is paying about 19 cents per share, which is a 2.63% dividend as of August 29th. So we're going to have to check that because some of these are, so gold, wait a minute, B2 Gold. So the B2 Gold dividend. Oh, why did I? .04 per share. That's pretty low. It's going to be about 2.2 something percent. I'll have a list of this next time. I'll just ooh, it's up to 5. I was going to say their annual dividend's up to 5.02%. So they're definitely paying you a decent dividend. So B2 Gold's at 5. That's the highest I've seen in quite some time. So B2 Gold, you have Kinross. Hell yeah, trading with J-Red. I actually have one that I'm going to light as well in just a second. And like a lot of people are like, why should I listen to you about these companies? These are the top gold companies, in my opinion, mining stocks. So 3.19% for Kinross is still way up there. B2 Gold's giving you a nice deal. You've got Barrick Gold, which is probably one of the best ones that I know of. It's at 2.58%. And then we've got, so we did Barrick, we did B2 Gold, we did, so we did Barrick, B2 Gold, and which other one did we do? I feel like we already did all of them. Oh yeah, we did Kinross B2. Fortuna Silver Mines, which was one of my favorite because it's one of the most true to form silver mining stocks. It doesn't offer a dividend yet, but it's just as big as the big boys. They break in a tremendous amount of profit. And they do a lot of silver mining. They're mostly a silver mining company. Wow, I appreciate 46 people still being in here, even though I'm talking about my gold and silver. If you would hit that like button, I'd appreciate it. We're 46 people, 35 likes. That's pretty damn impressive. And then obviously we have PBR. And PBR is an oil refined company. They do oil mine. Well, I'll show you guys. But we need to see the dividend because it's way up there. Look at their dividend right now. Annual dividend rate is 43.71%. That means you get $1.58 per share. 158 per share. So if you had 1,000 shares, they have a cutoff though. How much you can own, but that's the highest dividend I've seen for Petroleo in quite some time. Holy shit. 43.71%. That is incredible. But they actually pay you an annual dividend, and I've shown everybody in the past when we bought it at $10, it got up to about 16. They paid the annual dividend, and what happened? It crashed. It did it multiple times. So right now, once again, it came up to about 16, crashed back down to 10. Came back up to about 16, crashed back down to 11.90. Now we're making our way back up. Do we think it's going to break out, or do we think it's going to get roped in again? I was personally hoping for an $8.91. It never made it back down there, and I regret not getting back in. I sold at around 16 with that dividend, where this dividend payment was right here, right before the drop. And on this one, we got 255.8. It was an unbelievable dividend payment. Back here we got, I think, $1.37 in May. But over here we got $2.55 per share in August. Unfortunately, I didn't have the wherewithal and wasn't paying attention like I was here when I rebought back in. When it dropped here, I never bought back in like a dumb schmo. And I could have rode it all the way down to $11.92. Now I'm in the mercy of this, but it looks like a head and shoulders could be forming, which is fine. But that's what we're seeing there. Please check your messages on Telegram when you can. Absolutely, I'll check right now. Do you mind if... Oh, well, you asked me when I can. Excuse me. So, on Telegram... Oh, not yet in a few. I got you. Beautiful, beautiful. And then, for anybody who wants to buy XRP, if you're new, if you want to buy it spot free, no spot fees, no VPN in the USA, and also the most important thing also to me is no KYC. Like, you don't have to go through all the bullshit. And I'm going to share it to everybody, and if you don't like it, that's fine. But I highly encourage you, if you're watching me, don't be stupid. Don't waste your fees. And actually buy it where you don't have to pay all these extraordinary fees. And that's on the bottom of this. And I'm going to put this down here so everybody can see. You know, so nobody's asking questions. Because I believe it's important if we can help each other out. But the problem is most people just don't care. They really don't care. And it's a shame because there's a lot of ways to get around a lot of the fees in crypto. And I was very oblivious to it in the beginning. I really was. Man, I appreciate everybody being here for a half hour already. I do. Because it's a lot easier for me to go live and listen to the questions sometimes and just hear what everybody has to say. And then as the day goes, I can do updates accordingly. And anybody who's here that's part of Tom's Army, make sure you're going on the members only page. So if you go to my channel, go to the membership area. Because you get these exclusive contents. So I'm going to delete this out of here. I only do this so everybody can see, but that's not exclusive content I live. So you have Sologenic from 2 days ago now. You've got ADA. You've got Casper white papers. Long blockchain info plus TA. More Casper with the blockchain info. More ADA. HBAR. IOTA. Algo. And I do this for the members only because we need to get a more confluent audience, and the ones who are part of Tom's Army, I can talk unabated. I don't need to talk bullshit. I don't have to worry about people criticizing. And that's why I like to have it on the members only on the lives. That's why we don't get as many people, because most people can't talk and they just leave. That's fine. We don't ever get really any donations on YouTube, which is why I focus more on Twitch, because it's a more... And it's not all about the money, but it is a more generous audience and more people understand what I'm putting into it. A lot of people take what I do for granted on YouTube. So you can only give out so much. And I've been doing this for 18 months on YouTube. I've earned my reputation. I haven't lied. I do this for real. I tell you the truth. And I understand the charts better than anybody. And everybody can talk their nonsense, say that they don't understand my charting, or they use the Fibonacci's and that I don't do it accurately. My charts are so accurate, it's sickening, disturbing. Because I don't use the Fibonacci. I don't have to wait for an analytical machine to do it. I understand it. That's why we've already got all the levels in front of us. If XRP just holds this level at 50 cents, 5083 especially, or 5080, it will have an effectively probably come back up to 55.85. But if it loses this, this is starting a great M-topping reversal. You've got a bearish Gartley that formed, and some people say, oh, well, that's not bearish. I disagree. When you don't have that right side pull down, and the way I always look at this is if you can get more market set up, and the market pulls down and then pulls back up farther than the first drop point, but holds it and pushes up farther than the actual drop point, that to me is a bullish Gartley. This didn't have the testicular fortitude to come down, pulled up, and typically these mean when you get to the top of the formation, it's going to be a bearish reversal. On a bullish Gartley, it means it's going to be a bullish reversal even at the top. Well, this right now doesn't look like a bullish reversal, but it doesn't necessarily look like it's ready to cave in just yet. We have to break this key level of support, first of all. If we don't break that, we can always hold this and move farther up with some volume. And like this was the parabolic uptrend. Well, with a little bit of work and a little bit of pattern understanding, you can move this over and say, okay, well, maybe this was the pattern. Maybe when it reformed, this was the actual second hit of support and not over here. And now you can see how it's still being supported on this structure. And then we can take away this, some of the confusion, because now we've already set up this formation. We could even come across top here, but it's not going to do us any good because this resistance right here is already in the area. If we go to XLM, it speaks a lot of the same. XLM, we've got this uptrending support, which is actually supposed to be about right there. It's on the bottom side of it. And then if you have this resistance over the top, so now you're being resisted upon by this uptrending support at about 12.7, and then you have an overneath, holy shit, we can hold this and even bounce back up in between even, but you got to hold 12.227. You break that, you're looking at 11.71 and then 11.01. It's all universal here. I keep these for a reason. This is this ascending triangle we tried to create, but we never actually maintained this pattern formation. You can come all the way back to here, but I decided to go here. And the reason why I have this, and yes, I understand fully, you could just go like this and say, oh, well, it's just an uptrending support. Well, that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, we had a little bit of an uptrend, and in order to keep this, we could have had an ascending triangle breakup, but we stayed to the bottom side the entire time. So being on this part the entire time, you can hit this uptrending resistance, or you come down to the support structure, and 12.1 is the underneath support. The over-the-top resistance is 12.9. So you have a 12.2 to 12.9 right here. You break that, it's almost looking like a 10.7, but if you actually play the support out, you know that you've got a little bit of a hit before 10.7. You've got an 11.1 underneath support there. Wow, Darren, first donation of the day. That is incredibly generous. That was $22. Let me get out my phone because I don't want to hit the button and then YouTube, it's got a glitch. And the other cool thing about YouTube now is you can gift subs now on YouTube. I didn't know this. But you can actually gift subs to your friends if you want them to be able to see the live stream, or if you want to see more people in the community in here. Darren, I appreciate your time and knowledge, my friend. Some people don't understand how valuable your info and dedication is. However, they will. In the meantime, I'll keep paying it forward and hope that supports you and what you're doing. Dude, 22.22 in euro. It absolutely supports what I do. And it's not even about the dollar amount. It's about the understanding, if that makes sense. The ones who understand the time that it takes to do what I do and the stuff that I deal with, it's not it. See, I don't look at it as a paycheck, but what I do look at it as a pay it forward mentality. That's why I've always said, pay it forward. Well, I do a lot more when people are paying it forward. I'm a lot more. I still do my updates every day, but like this weekend, it was starting to become more of the bullshit. So I decided to do 2 updates a day over the weekend, maybe 3, instead of my 5 or 6. Still fine, but what ends up missing out is the live stream at night. And then just the constant back and forth during the day. And I love the back and forth. But the one thing I will never put up with is, one, when people are putting others down in the comments, if it's not me. I don't care if you put me down. I love it. I thrive on it. Put me down and I'm going to show you the truth. But I don't like when people within the audience are being put down. That always rubs me the wrong way. So then I have to cater what I'm doing. And that's how we got to Absolutely, Darren. That's a great way to put it. You like throwing the boomerang the right way for it to come back the right way. I love it. So with XLM, this is what I want you guys to pay attention to. The underneath support of this rising uptrending support, which is right around 12,222, ironically. We've got the over-the-top resistance at 13.5, which isn't going to come into play just yet. Not unless we have a major market reversal. Oh, I know, Bailey, isn't it weird? And I did it all last week. But I'm dealing with some personal stuff with my grandpa. He's likely got liver cancer, and he's 87 now. And, you know, it's one of those things. So dealing with that and just some stuff that's going on at the house with Julie with her 4 surgeries, and my son still trying to recover from his broken femur from a couple years ago and having to go through all this stuff. He was only like 6 months old in the car accident. So, you know, there's a lot of stuff underneath the surface that I don't talk about. But I'm very dedicated. I like to come here every single day. It's just something I like to do. Let's look at DGB real quick. We can also take a look. Let me know in the comments too if there's something in particular you would like. If you would like to me to cover something while I'm live, please let me know in the comments. If you're part of Tom's Army, obviously I can see what you're saying. Yeah, my grandpa, I went over there yesterday, which is why didn't do anything in the afternoon. I went over there about 5:30, stayed there until about 10 o'clock as my grandpa was talking. My grandpa's a very, very important person in the state of Michigan with things that he's done in the past. He was actually the tax man for Kmart, and back in 1980, and I don't know, you know, this has nothing to do with my wealth, but back in 1980, my grandpa was making $28,000 a month on salary, getting paid once a month. I mean, you're talking about 1980 making that kind of money. But my grandma passed away, several years ago. She was only 78. My grandpa didn't expect to outlive her, and, you know, that was his rock. So it's been interesting, you know, once grandma passed away, it's been interesting. Hey, thank you so much. I just seen a $10 donation. Hold on one sec. Wow. Trading with J Wright, thank you so much for the $10 donation. I can't even thank you enough. Wow, there's 50 people in here this morning. Holy shit. I'm always surprised when just one person shows up. I'm like the most grateful person of all times. People are like, you have 14,000 people. Why do you get excited about 10 people? Because that's 10 people who are going outside of just a daily update and actually coming in here to talk. Every time you trigger someone, you are really blessing them, so you're doing them a massive favor by highlighting that. And it's up to 100%. I believe if I can cause some kind of response, an emotional response, that means I'm triggering somebody and they're looking at something they may have never looked at. I'm sorry for that, Darren, losing your grandpa back then. I lost my other grandpa in 2001. My other grandma in 2015, and then 2016, and then I lost my grandma Spica, my grandpa who I lost in 2001. She passed away in 2011, but she was 86. My grandpa's 87, and both my grandma Sad and my grandpa Spica both died at 78. They had a long battle with health issues, though. Wow, what the hell was that? That was a very generous donation. Are you kidding me? Randad, wow. $49.99. That was incredibly generous, my friend. All 3 of you, that's been very generous this morning. Wow. I mean, 3 donations, let alone the size of 10, 22, 22 in euro, and then $49.99. Guys, that's incredibly generous. I don't even know. That's incredibly generous. I really appreciate that. I appreciate that, Randad. Oh, Darren, your granddad had Alzheimer's. Yeah, that's rough. Especially the Alzheimer's thing is very difficult. My grandpa still got his, he still does taxes and stuff in his office, so he's still got his capabilities, but it's definitely, you know, you can see things are having its effects. So, and not everybody's evolved in my family like I am, where I have an understanding of just a lot of different things with the blah, blah, blah and all that stuff. If you know what I'm talking about, if you know, you know. So, You know, there's a lot of things that I disagree with that's happened, but nobody listens to me in that regard. It is. I know a lot of people, it's the cycle of life, and I understand that, but you know. But also for my grandpa, he outlived his younger siblings, now his younger brothers. So for him, I think he's going through the time of guilt now. Everybody in his family that was younger is passing away, and he's still alive. So it's one of those things. Why am I still around, and all these people, you know, don't make it? But it's, you know, it's literally the cycle of life, and there's nothing we can do about it. All you can do is pass on what you know and try to live when you're alive, you know, when you're young. Oh, 100%. I agree with the Stantons, 100%. And XRP Perfection, I really appreciate that. I appreciate that. I do. I do fight hard for everybody. And I do take more criticism than most. God, and that's such a correlation, too. Darren, you're absolutely on the money with that. And, like, it's so hard, too, with Alzheimer's because we could say, oh, we should detox the metals and all this other stuff, but there's a lot more that go into it. Once the brain is damaged, it becomes a lot more than just let's take out the metals in our body. Random question, but casino or good for... Ooh! Granddad, have your dad take saw palmetto extract. That's what I take. I'm only 38, but that's what I take for my prostate. It's a herbal, and it's actually the single best thing you can do for the prostate. It keeps it regulated. Not a lot of people understand it, but it's a natural herb. Casino or Goodfellas? Fuck me. How could I go against Pesci and... Oh, man. I don't know. That's a tough one. I probably would go with Goodfellas. Only because the Italian in me, but Casino still goes right up that same path. And if you want to message me on Telegram, Randy, I'll take a screenshot of what I take. It's just a couple drops a day you take. You know, it's liquid form. But it's something that nascent iodine, yes, 100%. I take that as well. That's a big one. But you got to get that saw palmetto extract because that helps. It helps regulate, and it also helps with the size of the prostate. And I know a lot of people are like, what the fuck are we talking about the prostate for? I'm a 38-year-old man now, so that's some things that we have to consider. I'm surprised so many people stuck around for this discussion. But this is a way for us to all kind of look at everything together. We can take a look at Quant at 153. And it's almost come up to the top of the descending triangle at $183. And this is what always makes me, like I always say, I always understand XRP is going to have a run based on what Quant's doing. If Quant is running unopposed, everybody always talks about all these other cryptos. Does everybody realize, in here at least, that Quant runs the whole motherfucking show? Without Quant, there is no XRP. There is no blockchain for this kind of... It's like Quant is the actual blockchain to them all. You know, this runs the world. Without Quant, you have nothing when it comes to digital stuff. I know we're scaring people by talking about, you know, real world stuff, but that's the way it goes. Health is 100% wild gene. Great, that's great information, Darren. Real good. %75% kaolin or alkaline. That's a big thing. Big thing. It sure is, Jan. Quantum financial system is Quant. Guys, we'll talk until about, I don't know, 10:30. But Julie was up early and I got to do some stuff this morning. But I wanted to give a good I don't know, I just wanted to talk to everybody and get a feel for what everybody's saying and thinking. But I know it's a weird time. Everybody's going to leave now. Which is fine. But the moment we go off course. I'm just glad we had so many people here that had an open discussion here. But anyhow, with Quant, Look at the $166 if we were to break up. We really need to hold the $150 level. So if anybody's fun with, or who's enjoying quant or is interested in quant, if you're holding it or you're looking to buy it, $141 is the underneath uptrending rising channel. The resistance on the rising channel is about 165, 166 bucks. If we break that, we have a clear line up to about 180. I'm going to say 185. Let me see this. Let me grab my phone so I can read that comment. And there is no dumb questions. Hey, I appreciate Monday Morning Lives. I looked at. Yeah, I think I'm gonna start doing this on Monday morning as long as I can. You know, if I could do it around 9:30 a.m. on a Monday morning, I think it's really, really nice. I would like to do a little more lives on YouTube, to be honest. If I could go back to I sneak in a random 45-minute to an hour live 5 or 6 days a week is what I really miss on YouTube. So, CMOS is also good, Jan, 100%. Louisville. Hey, Tom, I hope this ain't a dumb question, but when I close out a position, I'm in the green. Do I close and take those profit? Or what is the proper way to close out a trade? Okay, so if I'm closing out a trade on BitGet, I'm taking, so because it's a leverage trade, I'm typically not looking to just take profit. It's a make it or break it. So I'm opening it at once and closing it at once. Because it moves so fast in a volatile leverage situation that typically I'm not just going to close out 50%. I'm just going to close out 100% of the position and take the profit and my gains, and then I can get back in at a different time. So I don't think that's a stupid question at all. It's obviously personal preference, but me personally, I'd rather close the whole position and then evaluate the leverage position, and then I can always get back in. The one thing with the leverage position is it's so easy to lose those profits because it moves at such a nominal rate. Like if you're 10x, it's 10 times the speed. And then PayPal. This is a big thing that I'm going to talk about in an update today. So basically what came out this morning in XRP Perfection spoke of this just now. PayPal came out and they said it was a glitch, but it goes into effect November of this year, which is next month. It came out that they were going to fine you based on your freedom of speech, based on if you broke their standards of speech. They were going to charge you $2,500 and take it out of your PayPal account. So if your bank account was linked to it, they were going to take it directly out of your bank account, essentially. They were going to fine you and put it onto your account. $2,500. So for me, it's one of those things. I have PayPal sitting there because it's just one of the ways to send money. But that is something that must be watched very closely. The fact PayPal even said that, I know they retracted now. But man. Yeah, on the leverage trades, if I'm up 14 or 15% and I'm letting it ride, I just let it ride. I always let it ride. And I can't talk a lot about the on YouTube. I can't talk about I'll call it the SCS. And I'm sure you guys know it's basically just a credit system, but you can't really speak certain words on YouTube. But with that the credit system coming, that's something I've been talking about for the better part of a decade and a half after China put it into place, and everybody laughed at me. I remember my parents, when I said it, they were laughing. Now, all the surveillance is actually what's going on. That's all part of the SCS, we'll call it. Unfortunately. But it's happening right in front of all of us. It really is. It really is. But I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it on here. They would kick me off faster than, And look, XRP still trying, before I leave, XRP still trying to maintain this support level here. And this uptrending support is actually, it hasn't broke down yet, but in the area right here, this is our key level at 51.28 approximately. If XRP can hold that level, You know, it's got a chance to make a move back up. And I'm having a lot of fun on the live. I have a lot of fun when I go live with everybody. I do. I have a Rumble channel. It's just I never really. The problem is Rumble always takes like a day, but if I'm doing a podcast, I don't think it wouldn't matter. Because they always take forever to approve my stuff for some reason. I'm going to go check on my son real quick, and then we're going to continue this discussion. As I looked at my phone, and I did not realize we were back up to 44 people. Wow, 61 likes. I really appreciate all the likes, everybody. That helps out a lot. Let's see. And you guys might have seen an update pop up. That's because I have a Dogecoin in you channel. And I actually did a Doge, Shiba, Matic, and Litecoin update this morning. And I ended up just sharing it. I decided to as bonus content on my YouTube channel, on my XRP channel. Yeah, I don't know why. Sometimes I'll share stuff from that channel so people realize I have that channel, which honestly I never even really talk about. But there's like almost 1,200 people there, and I barely do anything there. I do maybe one update every couple days. But the support, like, a couple hundred views per video, nothing major. But I literally talk about Doge, Shiba, and like the Ethereum style things. And I think a lot of people like it. Actually, it's just we have a very small audience. That's all. But I like it. I know I'm a very easy person to be satisfied. Like I don't need a lot to feel inspired or to feel, that general. I don't know. I just like a community. I like the community that tries to learn together. Shiba, I do think it's going to make regulations. It's just Shiba, for whatever reason, is a big part of this whole fucking plan that goes into effect here soon. And I don't know if that. The only problem is it's hard to see if that's really bullshit, if that's really real. But it seems to me like Shiba is really an influential part to move money in the digital system. For whatever reason, it appears to be that way. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with Shiba, but to honest to God, like it pops up in a lot of different places, and it seems to be a medium exchange when we have to go to the digital, like for a smaller medium exchange. And there's definitely rumors with Shiba and some of these lower level ones that it could possibly be backed by copper. If any part of that's true, that's huge. Copper goes for about $2 or $3.50 a pound right now. Oh, Darren, don't shut up. You talk as much as you want. This is how we learn. This is how some that might not understand what you're speaking of right now, they see it for the first time. And believe it or not, there's still 35 people here, even though we're not talking about much right now. But, hold on, let me go back to my, I gotta go back to see what you guys are saying on my phone. Because as you know, the one thing about YouTube, the reason I mainly like to go live on Twitch is it's so much easier to talk to everybody. It just pops up. I can go to it all the time. It shows everything. On YouTube, if you try to do that, it'll, a lot of times, well, I don't want it to do it, but, so if it closes us out, we're done. But I don't think it will. I think it'll show it. No, it didn't even show the comments. At least it didn't close us down this time. But YouTube has a very hard time showing comments when you're live for some reason. So here, I went back to my phone. I agree, Jan. Low-key, Shiba Inu is a huge player. So the XRP hook smart contracts. Oops. XRP. Whoops. XRP hook. Wait a minute. Was it an XRP? Did you say XRP hook? I want to type it in exactly how you put it so I don't. Hook smart contracts. Okay. Super smart. That's what it was. Hey, I'll talk about this later to the audience in general, Darren. Ooh. Hook smart contract proposal for the XRP ledger. Hooks add smart contract functionality to the XRP ledger. Layer 1 custom code to influence the behavior and flow of transaction. Hooks are small, efficient pieces of code being defined on an XRPL account, allowing logic to be executed beforehand or after XRPL transactions. The XRP ledger is known and is being appreciated for its transaction throughput, speed, and the low fees, combined with available advanced transaction types like multi-sign, escrows, payment channels, and even a decentralized exchange all in Ledger out of box without requiring smart contracts. The XRPL has a lot to offer of businesses and creative developers. Interesting. That's a quick little footnote. Ooh, we're going to have to go. I'm going to have to take a deep dive into the XRPL hooks documentation. Hey, Darren, you just gave me a whole new layer of content here for my channel. Because you know me, I like to deep dive into this with the audience. So the main function of your hook. Hook is a user-defined function called by XRPLD. In order to fire your hook function calls either accept or reject to pass or reject the originating transaction. If execution reaches the end of the function, it is implicitly an accept. Then we got the definition, example, return code, an arbitrary, or the reserved UINT 3200T, reserved for future use. And then the INT64_T, an arbitrary return code you wish to return from your hook. This will be present in the metadata of the originating. Oh my God, this is huge. Just like it's a small footnote, basically. So does this make it quicker? This will definitely make it more. This will get the information right in there. It'll be quick. Even the little bit of a delay is going to be gone now. That's very interesting. This is a whole working thing too. Look, they've got everything in here already. They've already got it all defined. This is actually going to happen. This is something that's, looks like more than a proposal. This looks like something that's ready to be implemented now. No shit, Dan. Okay, well, there you go. Randid. Isn't that's an interesting piece of information, isn't it? But Darren, this could be our key player for Shiba that we were looking for. How Shiba stays relevant. There's got to be a way, and this could do it. This is crazy, actually. That's crazy. Let me go back to my phone. Darren, yeah, the hook to carry. Yeah, that's. I seen you say that, and it like clicked in my head too, right when you said that. That's a perfect way to keep Shiba relevant, and not just that. Shiba's a good medium exchange for currency. It really is. Like, nobody understands. Oh, man, that's so cheap too, Shiba. That's one that I feel like down the road, we're going to be looking at that, and we're going to say, oh, man, how did we miss that if we do? So I have a channel that covers Doge and Shiba almost every day. It's literally called Dogecoin and You. I think it's such a clever name. But yeah, the ERC20 coins. So that all of them would. So that would mean like, what is it? Tron? No, is Tron an ERC20 coin? Or is that one of those TR, whatever the fuck they're called? I want to say Tron's part of that whole thing too. I could be wrong, though. Not a lot of people understand Tron like I do, but I'm almost positive that that's one of the ERC. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm overthinking. Darren, is Tron an ERC20 coin? Out of curiosity. Ugh. Well, that's not good. Well, if it's Teller these days. I'm going to have to keep this. This is incredible information. This is great. Have a good one, Randad. Yeah, I got to run too. I got to go. I've been kind of just laboring on for a minute, but I truly, wow, an hour. I can't believe I stayed on for an hour. This is great. So yeah, the synopsis real quick. XRP. Watch for this uptrending support to hold at about 51. Just to be safe, just look at about 51 cent area. Look at the 51 cent area. If we can hold this uptrending support and then get out of this long-term resistance right here, we'd have to break 55.85. Otherwise, this can play out as a huge fucking head and topping reversal pattern. If it gets on top of this. Oh, awesome, Darren. I thought for some reason Tron was ERC20. I've read a lot about it and I've been looking at a lot. Oh, you betcha, Nick. You betcha. Bailey, have a great day as well. I have no problem doing this. And you notice how I have it for only members only and Tom's Army to talk. And then with Sean, I made him a mod in here because then even though he pays separate, because he doesn't do it through YouTube, he likes to pay it separate through like just out of his pocket instead of paying through PayPal or YouTube. I found a way to at least get him in here. Darren, I believe, understands what I'm talking about. He doesn't need it because he's a paid member on YouTube, but if you're a mod and you're not a paid member, that's one way I can get you into the lives and be able to talk. You're welcome, Jan. So anyhow, real quick. Oh, Jan, you're welcome. Darren, Bailey, Nick, Randad, everybody who's still here, I really appreciate it. I know everybody's leaving now because I'm leaving, but I just wanted to tell you real quick. This 40 or 51 cent area, if we hold that, we can break up and at least get rejected here again at 55, or a main rejection at 52.48 would be warranted to me. I really want it to come to the downside, show rejection, and then ultimately break this 49.5 cents. That's what I'm looking at this morning. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. If you'd like to join me on my other platforms, I'm on TikTok and I'm also on Twitch. Just type in XRP Future Millionaire. And then if you're part of Tom's Army, make sure you're checking out the Telegram. We have a lot of stuff going on in here, a lot of subdivisions as well. And it just makes things very fun. And then other than that, I'll see you guys all on a future update. Stay blessed. Remember, help out everybody. And honestly, each and every day, just got to help. Just got to put it out there. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard with Tron because it, you got it wrong. Ooh, I appreciate that information on Tron. See, I'm always confused by that because I can never figure out if it is actually ERC20 or if it is. Okay, good. I'm glad you said that. If it's on the Bitcoin model, it's trash. Because there's speculation that it wasn't ERC20, but I can never confirm or deny it. But even you saying it's on the Bitcoin model, yeah, Tron's TRX for anybody who's wondering. Well, that's not good. That means it's a bunch of shit. That means it's a lot of bullshit. If it's on the Bitcoin model, it's not going to succeed. Fuck me. I always tell people the Bitcoin model, WTRX, I'm going to have to look deeper into that. I mean, that's not on my buy list, but it was one that I was definitely interested in. Oh, somebody said Casper. Let me look at Casper before I leave. I'm walking out right now, so if anybody's here and you're new, hit that subscribe button to the channel. And Casper's trying to hold us underneath support right here at about 0.352. Okay. I mean, we're trying to ultimately work up with Casper back to that 6 cent area. I just don't know if it's got that kind of testicular fortitude here. We're on the cup and handle, but we're making the handle that's not necessarily in a bullish spot because it's making it below the cup. Now it can bounce back up, but watch this uptrending support. No problem, J-Ride. The founder said it was a scam on camera years ago. Oh, well, that's all I need to hear. Benny, have a good one, my friend. I'm glad you were here. A lot of long time listeners in here. So, yeah. So, with Casper, look at this 0.350 level. If we can hold that, we would probably have a move up pretty substantially. But there is a double top up here at 378 that we would have to pay attention to. This is a tough one, though, because honestly, this has come up a long ways, and it needs broader market support. It needs broader market support here. We did have a technical breakout here. We can go to the top of this wick, which I oftentimes do like to do because that's the top point. Then we can start getting this. And you see how when you come across like this, it's showing you perfectly. It has to hold this level of support. This is your support line right here. So let's get rid of a lot of this so we don't get confused. I don't want everybody to get, but that's your support structure. Hey, Jordan, I appreciate that. Yeah, I haven't done a live on YouTube in a very long time. I usually do it on Twitch, but I'm missing the old YouTube vibes. If I just get 20 people in here, I'm very happy. I know today we're up to like 60 and 50 for most of it. But 20 people is all I need. 50 is actually getting to be a bit much. But this was an excellent environment, excellent audience, and a very generous audience today as well. And that's not by donations. I mean by the quality of the comments. So we look like we're on a mild bull flag, though. So as long as we hold this, you could call it downtrending support or this newly formed uptrend, but it's mainly that downtrend right here that we need to hold. That targeted move could get you up to about 430. So if this does hold and moves to the up direction, just look at a 430 possibility if this is a bullish handle. The problem is we're on the bottom side of the handle right now on the cup. So it could be interpreted as a bearish, but it's technically not bearish unless it breaks under that downtrending support line. So that's what I'm seeing. That's what I'm feeling. Have a good morning, everybody, and I'll see you on the mid-morning update.